Hi, here is ZAPY Speaking. Today, we bring you an episode of debate about the masks. So what's just happening today, though, is Joe Biden finally get on his first conference press after these few months, and he took off his masks. And he said, this is a different time, and we should wear a mask. And then at the same time, in the Senate, people are debating about whether to wear a mask or not. Is a political choice or health choice? As we on the other side of the border in Canada, we think that's clear. It's a health choice. What you're talking about? It's not politics. Do you want to die or not? If you don't want to die, wear a mask. Simple as that. But our American friends have a whole different view about it. And today, we're going to visit about what they are saying. So with me today is my partner and a longtime friend for this channel, Aaron. I want to say hi to people.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have anything to add about today's main message for people here?
I mean, in terms of the messaging with speaking, it's all about not sacrificing delivery and making sure that we still deliver well, but we'll get into that when we get into it.
All right. So now when you pay attention to delivery, when you watch the next two clips. So the first one up is CDC Director Bob Redfield. So today is Bob and Joe. So first one up, Bob.
We are not defenseless against this disease. We have powerful tools at our disposal. Social distancing, wear a face cover in public, and be disciplined about the frequent hand washing. It is critical that we all take the personal responsibility to slow the transmission of COVID-19 and embrace the universal use of face coverings. Specifically, I'm addressing the younger members of our society, the millennials and the Generation Zs. I ask those that are listening to spread the word.
We've got to get that message.
Okay, so that is the little speech the CDC director gave us. Let's hear about what Aaron have to say.
Like, his content is good. His content is clear. It's easy to follow, right? The ideas are all there. It's well organized. The ideas are all there, but he reads the entire thing. So when he delivers it, it sucks. Like, I don't want to listen. It is critical that it doesn't sound critical. He doesn't sound very torn up about it. He doesn't sound like, oh, this is actually important. I am talking to the younger among us. If you're going to talk to the younger among us, he says millennials, I'm a millennial. If he's going to talk to the younger among us, he's going to have to speak in a more engaging way. And that's not just true of the younger among us. It's everybody. Because if we speak like that, why would anyone listen? If you're going to sacrifice something, you can't sacrifice delivery. Delivery is why people listen to us. Delivery is why people focus, right? If you're going to, and the best way to sacrifice delivery is to read. Because when we read, we go forward. Sure, there are people who don't do this, and there are people who are able to get past that. And I think those are generally experienced speakers who know what to do and can default to reading with emotion. But if you're just going to read it out, you're going to put me to sleep. I'm not going to listen. With a voice like that, why would I care? His content is good. His organization is great. But with those things and without delivery, I'm not going to care. So
even though it has a meaningful information, you don't want to listen.
No, exactly. It's good information, but I don't care. Yeah, you deliver good information, but you don't deliver it well, I'm not going to receive it. It's in the name. If you're not delivering things well, they won't be received.
Cool. So then for the listener out there, there's probably one tips can help you overcome this is instead of writing out your whole content of speech, which people tend to do and read it out loud, you can condense them into some pointers. You can still write your whole speech, but remember at the moment of your delivery, if you are nervous, you think you might forget, have pointers and then act on this pointer at the moment, see how the flow goes. Then you're fully engaged and you have this nice free flow delivery.
Yeah, definitely. Key point form notes are all people need, right? I would personally, the way I would write notes is I would have just the facts So very clear numbers, because I'm not good at remembering numbers. So I'd have clear numbers. And then I would also have the main points I wanted to cover just as points on the list. So when I'm speaking, I can still, although we couldn't see him, I hope he was looking out, but I'm sure he would, if he was reading, he's not. Ideally, we can look at people. And then if we do need to glance at our notes, we can say, okay, I've mentioned that, this. And then I can deliver it with emotion, actually deliver it, not read it, deliver it. And there's a big difference.
Okay. So next, our speaker will be Joe Biden. We will compare him to the CDC director. But surprising this time, contrary to what we said before, Joe Biden do a bit better job today. So I will play a 30-second clip of what he said, and let's all have a listen and let's see what he's doing a bit different.
This is the most unusual campaign, I think, in modern history. In that, but I start off with the premise, Mike, that I'm going to follow the doc's orders, not just for me, but for the country. And that means that I am not going to be holding rallies. I am not going to be, for example, you all are here, but the school has put those circles around so we keep the social distancing. Everybody has masks on. As soon as I finish this, I'll put my mask back on.
So this is Joe Biden's delivery about this regard. I really like his little laugh at the beginning. It seemed like a bit human than before.
Yeah, I was actually going to comment on that because he has that one. It's the most unusual, and that laugh, it makes it human. It turns it into something where he's saying that laugh lets us know he thinks it's obvious. He says this is an understatement, right? That laugh communicates a ton of information, and it improves the delivery. He's got more emotion on his face than I've seen in previous videos of him. He's got more personality in his voice, which is great. It's still not perfect. I think there are definitely ways to improve the delivery in terms of a bit more extremity in the variation in his voice. So adding a few, like if we're talking about something good, we raise our voice, we make voice louder, we speak faster, and we speak a little bit higher pitch. If we're talking about something serious, we tend to do the opposite, where we slow down, we still speak louder, it's not the opposite. But we lower the pitch and we slow down. If I also drop the volume, I start to sound sad, which is, of course, not what we want to do when we're being serious. But nonetheless, the idea is, I think he could vary it more, but for the most part, he does a good job of actually sounding like a human being, and he's not reading. Someone may try and argue he's looking at a teleprompter, but if you watch his eyes, I think he's kind of scanning too much for it to be a teleprompter, unless it's a lot of teleprompters. I would guess I normally only have a couple in an event like this, maximum maybe 2 or 3. But when you look at the way he's looking around, it's kind of a scan. So he'll stop for a second and his eyes will turn, scan, eyes will turn, unless it's really wide teleprompters. It looks like he's just speaking from here. He's going with things that he knows. He's not reading. I assume he prepared. He may have point form notes or he may have notes, but he's not relying on them. And because of that, he actually delivers it, which I can't stress enough, is important. People seem to think if you write something well, people will be obliged to listen. That's entirely untrue. When I look at speech contests, you can generally get pretty far with just good delivery. Your speech can be, not great. But if you have good delivery, you can get decently far. You won't win it, but you get decently far. But if you have good content, great organization, but no delivery, you will not get anywhere in a speech contest. Like you look at Toastmasters, they've got 6 levels. On delivery alone, you can get to the 3rd one. I've definitely gone in with horrible speeches and had decent delivery, and I was able to get to the 3rd level of 6. After that, you do need content because everyone's got good delivery. But if you're going to try and run a country with poor delivery where you're trying to communicate with people, there's no way they're going to buy into what you're saying. Yang Fan and I were talking earlier saying there are 2 voices right now. One is saying, if you put on a mask, you're a traitor to your political party, you're a communist, you're an idiot, you're whatever it is. And it's this emphatic, angry voice. And then the other voice is, as doctors have advised, we need to put on a mask. And just based on delivery, I know which one I want to listen to. I don't listen to it because I'm trust doctors more than I trust angry political pundits. But at the same time, there's a reason there are so many people who are not listening to the people who are delivering scientific communication or medical communication, because they're delivering it so boring, in such a boring way that has no emotion. It's not compelling. There's no story. There's nothing there to make me want to listen to it. There's just someone saying, listen to me because I've got the truth. It's like, great. They say they've got the truth too, but they're delivering with style, with pizzazz, with oomph, with energy. I'm going to listen to that.
Yeah, you
That's
just feel
my
they
2
are,
cents.
you feel they are more trustworthy almost because they are certain of what they are saying, and people subscribe to this confidence in a lot of time. Which is funny because experts have all the confidence in their hand. They trained, they see the data, they know the whole system. Well, but when they come to the delivery, it cramps down and it's really boring. So that's what I have been challenged myself and my peers to do. We are group scientists. I say all the time is that we have good information, and now we need to get a story out with a killer delivery. Then people will listen, and then people will like, okay, it makes sense in the content. This guy's also convincing. Boom, you have to go of both. Then delivery is done. Okay, so by this far, we touched on 3 group components of a speech. A very important one, they are content, organization, and delivery. And these are the core of our whole speech. And at the end of the video, called it delicious speech, it's a delicious part of a speech. At the end of this video, we would like to give a score in these two speakers of the 3 areas. So I will give the first go. So tonight's Bob with Joe. So Bob from CDC Director. I guess his content is really scientific, very good. I give him a 9.5. The organization is be loose. He kind of just tag on, oh, we need a teenager to help us spread the word. They kind of out of nowhere. Doesn't make much sense. So because of that, I give the organization be lower. I give it 7. Man, the delivery. Oh my God. How do I handle that? I give him 2 points. Okay, so now we go to Joe Biden today. Good information, and he has good report with the audience, and he knows what he wants to say at this moment. So I'll give him the content, the organization of both A. The delivery is better than CDC Director, but it's not super good compared to many good speakers out there. I give Joe 6 points in delivery, more than enough to kick this Bob's ass. So how about Aaron? What's your score for these 2 guys?
Yeah, I think for Bob, as you call him, Bob, Robert Redfield.
Robert Redfield.
Yeah, that feels a little more appropriate. Bob, I know Bob. He's a great guy. But for Bob, I would say for content, 8, because I think it's good. It's not exceptional to me, but it's good. Well, 8's pretty good. It's pretty good. The information's decent. It's the ideas are all there and the message is consistent. So the content's good. The organization, I would say, is fine.
Fine.
6.5. Yeah, I think you gave 6.5. So
okay.
Or I'll give 6. I'll give 6.5 to the organization. 6.5 to organization. Delivery, yeah, 2. I agree, 2. Like he's speaking clearly, so he doesn't get a 0 or a 1 because he's speaking clearly and he does have some pauses, but there's absolutely no emotion or inflection, so it just makes me want to close my head in the fridge door. As for Joe, for his content, I think his content isn't bad. I would give him a 7. 7.
Okay.
For his organization, I find he starts a lot of sentences and cuts them off, which really I find disorienting. So I'd probably give him a 5 for organization. But his delivery, which I would argue is the most important, is going to be 6, which puts him. And honestly, if we're just going to do an average of those numbers, I think. But
yeah.
If I were actually
So
ranking them, I would put delivery at probably 3 times the value of the other 2. But
okay, we can maybe change our core method down the road. give a different weighing point.
Down the road. Let's not worry about that today.
For now, it's average. Okay, so the final score is for Robert, the CDC director. By average we gave him a 5.8. For Joe Biden, on average we gave him 6.7. So Joe Biden won, and majorly he won in the delivery here. And the score we give, well, as usual, Aaron gives lower score to the speaker than me, and by 1 point because he has higher bar than me. That's okay. So I hope this fun little exercise get a point across, which is delivery are super important. Content organization is good, but if you need to sacrifice two things to get one, you sacrifice content and organization, get the delivery down. And of course, and the key moment, you need to change the moment, make a difference. You have a crazy good content, and that's totally cool. You have anything to add, Aaron?
I'll just reiterate one idea. If you can avoid reading, do. Don't read. Just, if you have to improvise, don't read. Read will kill your delivery unless you're super comfortable already with delivery and you can do it in autopilot.
Yeah, so that's our take-home message. Hope all the audience out there learn from this and apply it to daily life. So here is ZAPY speaking. Until we see you next time.
Wow.
Bye.